The Black Friday deception. It was late November, and the streets were alive with the season's anticipation. Holiday lights twinkled in shop windows, and festive music played over loudspeakers. People buzzed with excitement, clutching flyers and scrolling through their phones for deals they couldn't afford to miss. Black Friday was just days away, and for most, it was the event of the year. For me, it was the beginning of a moral nightmare. I worked at a well-known electronics store, the kind that boasted unbeatable deals every Black Friday. The job wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. At first, I bought into the hype. I thought Black Friday was a win-win. Great for the store, great for the customers. But that year, everything changed. The morning started before sunrise. A line of eager shoppers snaked around the building, their breaths visible in the icy air. Some clutched thermoses of coffee, others huddled under blankets. The excitement was palpable. Inside, the staff gathered for a mandatory pep talk from our manager, Dan. Dan was the kind of boss who thrived on pressure. He was charismatic, always cracking jokes. But beneath the surface, he was ruthless. "Listen up," he said, pacing in front of us. "This is our Super Bowl. I want you to upsell warranties, push bundles, and don't let anyone leave without spending. Got it?" There were nods all around. Dan stopped and looked at me. "And no pity sales. Got it. If they can't afford it, that's their problem. We're here to make money, not friends." The words hit me harder than I expected, but I nodded anyway. When the doors opened, chaos erupted. Shoppers stormed in, grabbing at carts and racing toward the TV displays. The sound of boxes thudding into carts echoed through the store, mixed with frantic questions and the occasional shout over who got there first. For the customers, it was a frenzy of excitement. For us, it was a battlefield. I remember a woman with 2 small kids in tow. She looked overwhelmed, but determined as she approached me, holding a flyer. "Excuse me," she said, "where can I find this tablet? It's such a good deal. I want to get one for each of my kids." The tablet was listed as 50% off, down from $299 to $149. She was excited, smiling at her kids as if she'd just won the lottery. What she didn't know, and what I wasn't allowed to tell her, was that this model had never been $299. It was a cheap, off-brand device, sold regularly for $149, but we'd inflated the price 2 weeks before to make the discount look dramatic. I pointed her toward the aisle and watched her walk away, wondering how she'd feel if she knew the truth. As the day went on, the manipulations became harder to ignore. A father and son came in searching for a gaming laptop. They'd seen the deal in our ad, 40% off, now just $819. "It's a big splurge," the father admitted. "But it's worth it for him." I didn't have the heart to tell him that the same model had been $849 a month ago, and that the original price of $1,199 was a fabrication. They bought it anyway, and my manager gave me a thumbs up as they left. Dan's behavior throughout the day only amplified my guilt. When an elderly couple asked about a sound system, he swooped in before I could speak. This is the deal of a lifetime, he told them, leading them to an overpriced, outdated model. When the woman hesitated, saying they were on a budget, Dan turned on the charm. It's a small investment for years of enjoyment, he said. Besides, we only have 2 left. If you don't buy it now, someone else will. She caved, handing over her credit card with trembling hands. As they walked away, Dan smirked. Easy money, he muttered. The breaking point came late in the evening. A teenage boy came in with his mom, asking for a discounted smartphone. His old phone was cracked, barely functional, and this was his chance to upgrade. They'd seen the ad for a phone on sale for $399. What they didn't realize was that the phone was a discontinued model, sold for $350 just weeks before. When they hesitated, Dan stepped in again. "This is the last one," he said, feigning urgency. "If you don't grab it now, you'll miss out." The boy looked at his mom, who sighed and nodded. I watched as she handed over her card, her shoulders slumping under the weight of the purchase. By the end of the week, I couldn't ignore the pattern anymore. Black Friday wasn't about helping customers save money. It was about manipulating them into spending more than they could afford. The so-called deals were nothing more than smoke and mirrors, designed to exploit trust and desperation. When Dan gathered us for a post-Black Friday meeting, he was ecstatic. "We crushed it," he said, waving a printout of our sales numbers. "Best year yet, and next year we'll do even better." But I couldn't celebrate. All I could think about was the grandmother who bought an overpriced laptop for her grandson, the young couple with their unnecessary bundle, the elderly couple manipulated into overspending. They'd all walked out of the store believing they'd won, but the truth was they'd lost. I quit the following week. I couldn't be part of an industry that thrived on deceit and exploitation. As I packed up my things, I thought about how easily we fall into the trap. We want to believe in the deals, in the idea that we're outsmarting the system. But the reality is, we're being played. Black Friday isn't about savings. It's about selling. And until we learn to see through the lies, we'll keep falling for the same tricks, year after year. So, now I ask you, how much did you spend this year? And more importantly, how much did it really cost you?